Hey guys, what's going on? It's Sorrowful here on the MapleStory global test server still, and today I wanted to show you guys enhancing and scrolling some of the new Arcane gear, as well as talking about Arcane symbols and Arcane Force, which is kind of like a new kind of Star Force kind of thing, and we'll get into that a little bit later. So first off, the new Arcane set. Okay, so it's a level 200 set, and level 200, I was thinking maybe it would go to a next tier of equipment, so like tier 5, but it still falls under the tier 4 category for potentials, meaning it'll still get the same amount of potential lines as Sweetwater, which is the tier 4 level 151 plus, I believe. So items level 151 plus all get the same value for potentials. So as you can see, they both have all stats 10%. Okay, so it's a new level 200 set. You could acquire the set by talking to Kanto for the Phantasma coin exchange, because essentially you need Phantasma coins to get this gear. And so you could get 10 Arcane River droplet stones from mobs in Lachlan. It's a very low drop chance. I was fighting for a while and I couldn't get any couldn't get any of these. So if you have drop rate, you could try and farm for these. Once you get 10, you're going to need one butterfly droplet stone, and this is only dropped from Lucid, so you're going to need to kill Lucid as well, quite obviously. Lucid is going to be the new boss in Lachlan, the hardest boss that's going to be in the game once it's added on January 4th, that is. And then once you have these two, you can combine them to get a Phantasma coin, and then once you get enough Phantasma coins, because it takes a lot, you could get yourself some Arcane gear. So yeah, I showed all of these. I'm not sure what this is for. Oh, okay, this is to upgrade Lapis and Lazuli. So you need the scroll plus this. So it's a little bit more expensive for zeros, I think, but hopefully it's not too big of a deal. We'll have to see how hard it is exactly to get one coin if Lucid will drop, you know, multiple droplet stones, or not droplet stones, but the other one, flower stones. So yeah, they have one for every class except for one. I'm not going to point it out, but they are aware of it, so the guys at Nexon I'm talking about. So don't worry about that, and they are aware of another thing with these gear and Demon Avengers, which I noticed, because I don't think any of them give HP. So since that's the case, Demon Avengers won't really benefit from the set the way that, you know, they should, just like every other class. So with that being said, if you guys know which class is missing, which class weapon, be sure to let me know in the comment section below, and I'll let you know if you're right. But so with that being said, a lot of people think we have 25 Star Force like KMS does, and Flame of Reincarnation, or Reincarnate, or Flames of Rebirth, those kinds of stuff. But I don't remember specifically, but I think I remember Nexon even saying themselves that they don't anticipate those things to ever make it over to GMS ever. So I was kind of curious why so many people were expecting it. I wasn't expecting it, because I thought I remember hearing that, but yeah, there's no 25 star, at least right now. Whether or not they're going to add in the future, I'm not entirely sure. But I'll go ahead and show you guys scrolling the bow. Let's go over all the equipment just so you can see them, though. This is the overall. This is the hat, shoulder, glove, shoe, and then cape. So it's not like, I don't think having the full set is better than, you know, some of the other variations you're able to create with some of the other equipment, but maybe having like the 4 set effect or 3 set effect might be beneficial, because 50 all stats and 35 attack is pretty significant for a 3 set boost. So we'd have to see some testing and some mixing and matching before we could have any concrete thoughts on that. But anyway, let's go ahead and scroll this bow and enhance it for you guys. We're going to try and enhance it all the way up. Probably not going to have enough meso, but I'm going to try and enhance it as much as I can and show you guys that. So let's go ahead and use 70% because they're pretty solid. Give 5 attack, and let's start with that. Alright. Perfect. So 940 spell traces per use, about 1,000, and because the bow had, I think, 8 slots, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it had 8 slots, so it'll be about 8 grand worth of spell traces. So we finally failed one. That was expected to happen. So while we're doing this, Arcane Force is, like I said, kind of like Star Force, but it's just like a much higher thing, because let's be honest, it's really really easy to get Star Force. Anybody could do it. Everybody could get at least, you know, 6 stars on their equips. You don't need to be rich at all. Just by fighting Horntail, you know, every day you'll have enough meso to do that. So everybody could get Star Force. So it's like the mid tier. So you could farm at Star Force maps, because those still do exist. They still exist. Star Force maps aren't leaving. They still are a thing. So yeah, that's kind of like the mid tier. But then once you get to higher level, you're gonna want to look at Arcane Force, because that's what was gonna really affect your efficiency training at those higher level maps, starting from like level 210. It's really hard to get a higher Arcane Force count, and I'm going to try and get into the details. It's actually complicated even for me to understand, so I'm sure a lot of you guys are smarter than me, you know, even when it comes to Maple, and I'm not afraid to admit that. So you guys might be able to grasp it easier than I can, but there's a lot of information on Arcane Force and Arcane symbols. I'm going to try my best to try and convey that to you guys in this video, but that's after we... I don't know what that was. It was just like, but that's after we enhance this this Arcane bow. So it's called like Arcane Umbra. They're called an Arcane Umbra equips, as you can see. Most of them are called that as well. Archer hat. I kind of wish they looked better. I'm cool with the purple color scheme. Purple isn't a bad color. It's like pretty decent. But I don't like how the equips look, and that's something I've always hated. But I guess now that I think about it, it's kind of to encourage players to buy NX clothing and stuff like that, to get players to spend, to influence them to spend without, you know, saying, oh, you have to spend. So it's pretty interesting. I don't know if this is cheaper. I don't think this is cheaper yet. Okay, no, it's not cheaper. It's the same price as it is currently in GMS. I was hoping Star Forcing would be cheaper now, because I have a video coming out that'll explain why, and you'll definitely agree if you don't already agree with me on that. But Arcane Force and Arcane Symbol. So yeah, it's gonna be like the next step after Star Force, because as you progress in your Maple journey, you're bound to have, you know, at least 150 Star Force or something like that. Maybe that's a little bit too high. Maybe like 100. What did I say, 150? I think maybe like 130 is like standard. I'm just assuming, going off the top of my head. But I think we're gonna stop enhancing if this works. Alright, so we got it to 12 stars out of 15. As you guys see, it does cap out at 15 though. They don't have you know, an extra 10 stars just there underneath, which is I think how KMS has it. I haven't seen it in a long time. But 395 attack bow. Like, that's effing massive. Because they're so strong, clean. Now that I think about it, the Fafnir bow, which is, you know, the most popular bow currently, the Rudibus bow, is 199. Is it? I want to say it's like 199 attack clean. I don't want to say that and be like completely wrong and sound like an idiot. Or is it 200 and something? Either way, I know this is a good amount higher. Is it 256 clean? Fuck, now I'm just thinking of random numbers. Anywho, so that's that. I just wanted to show you guys that no 25 stars to my knowledge. I mean, so yeah, a lot of people were thinking that there was 25 stars with this patch, so that doesn't seem to be the case. And yeah, so let's move on to Arcane Force and Symbols. So you guys could access it by clicking this little button here. It says Arcane, and once you do click it, you'll see this new window. Okay, now these are your Arcane symbols. This is for Lachlan, this is for Choo Choo Island, this is for Vanishing Journey. Now, if you guys know about this even a little bit, you'll know that mine are in a different order, and the thing is, these count as equips. That's why it's part of your equip tab, and that's why it's called Arcane Equipment. Okay, and you could de-equip them just like they're equipped. So a couple things to note. This is the order they'll be in automatically, so it'll be Vanishing Journey. They have a nice little noise. I'll try and shut up so you guys can hear that right now. So when you equip them, so they're going to be in the order of the content that you actually could go through. You know, so like that. and you could level them up. As you guys can see, they're level 8 right now. The max level is, I believe, level 15. However, it's near impossible to get them to that level. But yeah, you can level them up, and the higher level these are, the more arcane force you have. And you can see your arcane force count right here, arcane power. So I have 300. The most you'll ever need is 360. That's if you want to hit max or your full damage on Lucid, the latest boss that's going to be added again January 4th. So you could have up to, well, that's the most you would ever need, 360. You know, probably when Black Mage comes out, you'll probably need like 400, which is the max amount to hit your full damage on him, which just makes sense. And but even 300 is more than enough to do everything you want and train at all the maps that you want to, because getting past 300, I'm told, is very difficult. So yeah, so it gives 300 arcane power, as you guys can see here, 100 for each at level 8, and then you can see it right there in the little description. It says Dex plus 1000, Arc plus 100, and the Dex, as you guys could read the description, I did the testing myself because I didn't read the description to the end. It's obviously a flat bonus. So it's an additive bonus. It's not multiplicative with all your percent stat. Otherwise, that'd be pretty broken if you think about it. 3000 stat, that's multiplicative. If someone has like 800% stat, I know someone who does, then that would be an insane amount. So yeah, that'd be like tripling. Not tripling, but it'd be like really, really insane. So, but I wanted to do the math anyway, just to see if it was bugged, right? So, it's not bugged, it's working like normal. I'll show you guys as well. So I have 14,378 dex with 1. If I take off this one, in theory, I should just drop literally 1,000 dex. So it should be 13,378. If I do that, 13,378. So that's just to show you guys. But yeah, so how you could get the symbols to actually level these things up now. So each symbol counts as 1 EXP, I believe. And you could get symbols for Vanishing Journey. It's different, slightly different method for all. There's like 2 methods. For each of them, you could farm mobs in each of these respective places. So if you want arcane symbols for your Vanishing Journey arcane equip, then you could farm in Vanishing Journey, and the mobs there have a very, very, very low chance to drop them. Okay, so all the mobs have a very low chance to drop these symbols. So that's kind of a bummer, but it kind of makes sense. And the symbols do count as equipment drops, so things like a greed pendant and drop rate gear will heavily help and influence how many you're seeing from the mobs once you start to try and grind for them, or once you're training. So if you do have drop gear, good for you. If you don't, you're going to be like me, and we're both going to be struggling together. So that's one way to get arcane symbols for all of them, training in the respective areas, which I think is a nice touch, as low as the drop rate is. And then they each have a second alternative method, which is the more viable method for getting arcane symbols. So for Vanishing Journey, there's actually going to be daily quests. I don't think they're implemented into the server right now. I was looking around, but I didn't see any. So you could do daily quests to get 8 symbols a day, I believe the amount is. So you could get 8 symbols a day from doing quests, so that's like a decent amount just from questing every day. I don't think the quests are hard too, so it's going to be something that you're just going to want to do. That's why you, like, I think they kind of made like all these Arcane River towns full towns, like with a dimensional mirror, with a free market, with everything you need, because you're going to want to be staying here so you don't have to always travel here, so you could farm every day for your arcane symbols and work towards that, as well as so you could get to your training maps easier for those of you who don't have like a hyper rock or something like that. But so yeah, daily quest for Vanishing Journey, as well as farming for mobs. Choo Choo Island, there's a whole new PQ that you could do. I can't remember the name. I really can't remember the name. I don't know why, but I'll try and have it on the screen if I remember it. So you could do a PQ, and the PQ is actually really good for EXP. However, you could only do it 3 times a day. So you're definitely going to want to be doing that to not only help you level, but also to get these arcane symbols. And I can't remember, I think you get, well, there's hard and normal mode for the PQ. I think you get 3 for clearing normal mode, so you could get 9 for just doing normal mode, and then I think you get 5 for clearing hard mode, so you could get 15 arcane symbols per day if you could clear hard mode of the Choo Choo PQ. Choo Choo PQ. And then for Lashland, unfortunately, the only way to level this one up is by killing mobs in the Lashland area. So this is by far the hardest one to level up because, again, the drop rate is insanely low. But that's the only way to level it up, to my knowledge. So hopefully they'll implement an easier way down the road. But as of current, that's the only way. And to be completely honest with you guys, I'm not sure how it would work. I think if you see it as a drop, you would just loot it, and then it'd probably go to your use, and then you'd use it, and it'd add 1 EXP to here. And yeah, that's how that would work. So I'm hoping levels 1 to 5 are really easy to get, because yeah, and I'm not sure, unfortunately, how much stat it gives you per level. But while I'm not sure how much stat each level gives you, I do know that it's for level 1 arcane equip. It starts at 30 arcane force. Okay, so your arcane power will be 30 if you have all at level 1. It'll be 90. You'll have 90 arcane power off the top, which is really good if you ask me. And then it goes up by 10 every single level. So they go up, if it starts at 30, max level's 15, it'll probably be like around 180, if my basic math serves me correct. So 180 times 3, 360, 440, 540 arcane. Actually, I think it's 170, but that again is like quite impossible to achieve. I've seen even some of the best KMS players, I was watching them, and they don't even have them at like past level 10. So that's a bit unrealistic. At level 10 is probably going to be like 30 plus 9, so it'd be about 120 each, so 240, 360, which is the perfect amount you need for all your end game content. So with that in mind, hopefully I help explain and help you guys understand this whole arcane force, arcane equipment stuff. A little bit complicated, like I said. I might have missed some details. Again, I'm not perfect, unfortunately. I just try and convey to you guys the current knowledge that I do have, so that at least you guys are up to par with me and know enough to really understand the system. While we both may not know everything, yeah, it's kind of what we need to know, I guess. And so that's the Arcane Umbra equipment. I showed you guys, I told you but I told you guys how to get it, told you guys and showed you guys this stuff. And I think that's about it, guys. So hopefully you guys found this video informative. If you did, please let me know in the comment section right below that like button, as well as by hitting that like button on your way there. Because yeah, that really lets me know that I did a good job, and without that, I really wouldn't know if you guys like this stuff or not. So yeah, thank you all for watching. As always, guys, stay calm and maple on. I hope you guys are excited for this stuff. I hope you guys are preparing your drop gear, and I hope you guys are preparing to grind even more than we already do. But until next time, guys, I'll see y'all later. Peace.